Hey everybody, it's Adam Tracy, and there's some disconnect between the concept of gaming or gambling and gamification or GameFi, right? And you see, and I often get a lot of questions regarding crypto projects that have been gamified, and the question is always, well, are we engaging in gaming and do we need a license to do it? And it's important to understand the definition of what to gamify something is. And that's simply to incorporate elements that are currently or most often found in games onto unrelated activities for purposes of increasing engagement or loyalty, right? Or participation. So, like in one context, you see a lot of rewards-based platforms for like physical activity or things like that. Well, all they've done is gamified workout tracking, right? And gambling is what it is, right? It's a game of chance. That's why it's regulated. But you can gamify gaming, right? Like gambling, because through things like loyalty rewards for like playing, a certain game enough or spending enough money, or competition, like then that's a tale as old as time. Like you see these slot competitions, even in physical casinos to this day, and adding elements of like gamification to the games itself that increase engagement and participation because people simply want to play, right? So you can gamify gaming, right? But you can't necessarily incorporate gaming into something that's just simply gamified, right? So conceptually, right, no matter what it is that it goes back to the adage of that games of skill are not regulated, whereas games of chance are. So your typical casino, sports betting, horse racing, whatever the case may be. And on the other side, you have games of skill, which like in the sort of middle ground, you have like daily fantasy, like peer-to-peer contests, right? And it can be in anything. It doesn't, I'm talking about gaming because people often think that they may trigger gaming licenses requirements without really looking at it and just saying, oh, we have a gamified platform that enhances the user participation and engagement on a peer-to-peer contest basis, right? So it's important to delineate between those two. And it's like, even if there's apps out there like Ember where you have trading contests and things like that, they've gamified that for you. And yes, you can offer a reward, right? Because it's just a game of skill, right? People can pay to enter the contest, provided it's not just like a sweepstakes or a lottery where it's a random chance that they win. They have to legitimately compete. And the way that you drive people to the platform to buy the token in order to play the game, right? Or whatever the case may be, is through that gamification, right? Because it takes something that is relatable to traditional gaming, just games, and it's applying to something that's completely unrelated, right? So one doesn't always beget the other, but gamification can have a massive positive impact on gambling because of the nature of the tools that you employ to increase participation, loyalty, right? Through like loyalty rewards and all that kind of stuff. So whenever you like find yourself, and if you're doing a project, a crypto project where there's a reward system, right? And that's really where it comes from. If there's any kind of reward that comes out of your crypto-based platform, if you will, you have to ask yourself, is it because I'm engaging in gambling, which is like a random walk, no skill involved, just luck of the draw, or because it's been gamified, right? Because I've embraced gamification, and people are coming to my platform, paying like consideration to participate in these games, but at the end of the day, end reward system that comes to them is by meeting a metric or by competing with other people, right? So, whether that metric is something that you self-earn, right? Like I've repeated some sort of habit, like in the context of, let's say, working out. I've repeated some habit 12 days in a row, whatever the case may be, right? In that case, you're competing against yourself. It's no longer a game of chance. It's a game of skill, right? And anything P2P, game of skill. So the analysis, right, shouldn't always start with, am I engaged with gaming? It should start with, how am I employing the principles of gamification, right? And then if you use that analysis correctly, it gives you the answer in fairly short order, whether or not a license is actually something that you are required to get on the gaming side. So that's my take. I could go on for like 20 hours on this because it's obviously just sort of very, very, very qualitative. But if you have any questions, hit me up, adamtracy.io, and I'll talk to you next time. Cheers.